right, welcome back everyone. Sam here, and we're looking to look at a long-term video review. One of my long-term keeper watches, so I kind of do those a bit differently. I don't do the standalone review for those. I like to touch base every so often with them. So we're going to do that. But first, what I'm wearing today, it's Saturday. So as you can see here, I've got my Seiko on, the Grand Seiko, affectionately known to many as the Snowflake, with those beautiful polished hour markers and hour and minute hand, just beautiful, and that beautiful textured dial. So got that on today, and a little gin and tonic right here. Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, without further ado, we'll turn it around and we will have a look at the wonderful classic Omega Speedmaster Professional. All right, we have the Speedmaster running. So you can see the sub-seconds at 9 o'clock there ticking away. This is the Professional, commonly known as the Moonwatch variant, with the Hesalite crystal. And the engraved solid case back, as you see here. And I have to say, like, I love this watch just as much as the day I bought it, if not more so, which is saying something. The bracelet is really lovely quality, super comfortable to wear. The case is beautifully shaped. If we get in here really quick, you can kind of see those beautiful lugs, how it's brushed along the side. They curve really nice in towards the center there. Really lovely case shape, and you can see it's not very thick, as I think pretty much is the way it should be. I think so many chronographs today are just so fat or tall, as it were, that that I'm not really a fan, and this keeps it thin enough, especially being a manual wind. And let's actually, since I got it wound up, let's get that chronograph running really quick here. Here we go, we'll get that running while I talk as well. You can watch it go. This is one of the classically designed, most perfect design chronographs ever, in my personal opinion. Very simple, beautiful dial layout, and I just don't think it can get much better than this. It has one of the kind of great legacy chronograph movements of the 20th century, in my opinion. This is the 1861, which is a follow-on from the 861, which is the follow-on from the 321 caliber of the original Speedmasters. Those all come from well-used Lemania base movement. I mean, other manufacturers such as Patek use those movements. Really great movement. You can't really go wrong, you know. Not column wheel, but that's all right. I just think it's a really, really great movement, coupled with a really great and classic design. And it's a design that looks as good today as it looked, 50, 60 years ago. Big things for me, I really like the hour markers going on the dial. Super simple, clean, matched with the sub-dials with the numerals. And I don't know if you can tell here, I'm going to do some macro views after this, and we'll see kind of how the sub-dials are sunken in. But also the way they're spaced across the dial for me is absolutely perfect. There are some other movement variants of the Speedmaster with 2 registers instead of 3, or with 3, but it's an automatic and it's a reduced size, and they're pushed out towards the outside of the dial, and it just throws off the complete balance of the design for me. And this is the design, in my opinion, that just works, is with the size and placement of the 3 sub-dials. It's just as good as it gets, in my opinion. The domed Hesalite crystal is about, I think, as beautiful as a crystal can look. It's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. It does scratch a little bit easier, but I mean, at almost any angle, this watch is just a beautiful watch. It does have that aluminum bezel insert, but It looks fantastic, and I don't mind that it's aluminum. It just has such a beautiful look, and it's one of the few modern watches I have now, right, that's probably going to actually show age over the years a little bit because of the bezel and the Hesalite crystal, so that's a wonderful thing as well. You can see here on the back of the clasp, I do have some scratches from wear, but after 4 years of wear, you would expect that. It's not a daily wear watch for work for me, but kind of a common weekend watch for me. And I love wearing it every time I put it on. I wear it often on Tuesdays regardless, since that's Speedy Tuesday, but otherwise I tend to wear it when I'm off work. It's one of my top choices for when I'm off work, along with the Grand Seiko. And yeah, it's just a stunning design, classic movement, and I think it's a case of if something's not broke, why try to fix it? Let me get set up with the macro lens, and we'll do a few close-up shots, just because I think you guys might be interested in that. All right, here I'm kind of getting close to the dial. There you see the painted on Omega symbol and Omega Speedmaster Professional. You see the seconds hand ticking around there at the 9 o'clock subdial with 20, 40, and 60. And you can see how it's kind of sunken in a bit. I think, maybe not in the light, there you can kind of see it there. You can see the 12-hour counter down here at the 6 o'clock. And the minute counter over here at 3, 30-minute counter. And there is the chronograph seconds hand ticking around right there. And your hour and minute hand with, I think, good length on both of those, but also thin enough to not distract or block out the chronograph function. So really lovely. And here we've got the tachometer. As I said, it's aluminum, well worn and used, but looks really fantastic. And we go with the case a little bit here. Side of the case, so as I said, it's brushed and polished, so you can kind of see here the bracelet where it fits together really well. We've got the brushed, polished, brushed, polished, brushed, and then here, kind of like the inside curve there is brushed, followed by the polished section, which is dirty and worn from my use right here, as you can see, and then again brushed on the outside edges here with the pushers and the crown. Again, the bracelet. Interesting thing with the bracelet on these two is that the inside is an exact mirror image of the outside, except for it doesn't have the little polished bits, but the actual shape and feel is exactly the same, just not polished. So that makes it really comfortable. Here we are with the case back, and you can see there, nice close up of the case back, the seahorse, and the NASA based engraving. Really lovely. The milling here on the clasp, which works really well. Omega Speedmaster Professional. Here, we'll go this way. And the scrapes from me wearing it, and then the push buttons here. And the micro adjust, a couple of them right there. So, I mean, really a beautiful watch, and yeah, I think it's a stunner. So yeah, that's an up-close look of my Omega Speedmaster Professional. For me, an absolute favorite. And I think one of the best watch choices I've ever made. And this is one for me, since we're covering it as a long-term choice. This is one for me that if I were cutting down to just a couple watches, this one would stay. I'd get rid of others and not this one. And it's just such a classic, like, long-term design. It looked good 50 years ago. It's going to look good 50 years from now. Utterly reliable, you know, and I just love the design. I think it's a beautiful design. I'm not a huge chronograph guy, and yet I love wearing this. So yeah, 4 years in with my Omega Speedmaster, and I couldn't be happier. And I look forward to many more years with this. If anyone has any specific questions about the Speedmaster, my feelings on it, my thoughts on it, or any other aspects of it, please do leave that in the comments below. And I will answer them in the comments, or maybe if it warrants it, do a separate video. So thanks everyone for watching, and stay safe, wash those hands, and hopefully I'll see you next time.